First off, we have the ACK flag within the actual packet. And so ACK simply means that the sender and receiver acknowledge the fact that they have received each other's communication link. And so basically, it's just saying, okay, I have acknowledged you, I know that you are here, and we are ready to communicate. So that's what acknowledge means in regard to the packet information. Okay, so now we have the infamous reset flag. So pay close attention as a network administrator, network engineer, or network analyst to those packets that say RST. It's a red bar usually, and hence it is in fact a red flag. So if you are receiving RST packets on your network, that means you are losing data off of the network. So the packets are actually being dropped off of the network, and the packets are trying to reset itself or reconnect once those packets are dropped off the network, and the data is actually leaving your network in a bad way. So you could have bad data, bad packets. Something is going on that you need to investigate. And so it could be a bad network card, it could be bad connections, it could be the jack, it could be the cable, it could be data is corrupted. But something is going on. So you, as the network administrator, when you go into your network monitor tool, which I will show you at the end of the video or close towards the end of the video, I'll show you this tool. But you use that tool to troubleshoot the data or the packets on your network and make sure that you kind of drill down and find out what those packets are doing, where it's coming from. You want to get to the root cause of the problem of those bad packets being dropped. It could be coming from anywhere, but this is where you actually begin to start the real bona fide troubleshooting in regard to reviewing what's happening with the network traffic. Okay, so we are now looking at the fin flag. And so what the fin flag does for the actual packet, it lets the receiver and sender know that all communications are officially closed and terminated. So that is the job of the fin flag within the TCP IP setting. All right, so I have showed you pretty much how data will look inside of a packet. I talked to you about a few flags in reference to monitoring network traffic. So now we're going to dive a little deeper, and I'm going to show you how to monitor your network by using the utility called Microsoft Network Monitor 3.4. It is a free tool, and you could download it from Microsoft support site. I'm going to close. This is your README page right here. You could always just kind of close that out. And at this point, from this window of the interface, it's just showing me all of the capture files that I have created in the past. So when you monitor your network, you'll be using a CAP extension file. So as you can see here, I was monitoring my routers, and I was monitoring just some standard traffic. I monitored my VLAN traffic and my web traffic and so on, broadcast traffic, all that good stuff. Now, before I start, I want to just monitor today just my local area network on IP4. And so there it is right there. Now I do need to change the IP address. So bear with me for a second here while I do that, because I want to make it have the same IP from the DHP server. That was just a static address that I was using earlier. So we'll change that around real quick. Let's make it DHCP related here and bring that up. And so we're using this option here. So I'm going to just right click on this, and I'm going to change that information on my IP4 property setting. And yeah, this is what I'm going to. I'm going to just say use the DHCP server instead to get an IP address. And I'll click OK on that, and it should hopefully be running. Let's see. Oops, did that earlier. Pull that out, and let's take a look at the actual network. There we go. See data coming in. I'm just gonna. Oh, okay, I was gonna disable it, but I see now that it's sort of evening out as far as the sent and receive bytes. I still might disable it anyways, just to make it a little cleaner. You enable it, just clear it out. And my stomach is growling. I don't know why. I just finished eating lunch not too long ago. All right, so now it even gives me the name of the router, which is good. So sometimes it's just good to recycle. So if I double click on it, now it's a little more even. There's more going, actually more being received than it is going out, but that's okay. You see I'm running at 100 meg, blah, blah, blah. So, all right, so now I know that I have connectivity on my local area network. As you can see here, we are not using the internet. It's this little lab that I have at home that I use for all my testing. So now let's monitor the network. Let's close all this out. And so we do new capture, and we go over here and we say start. I should start seeing what's happening on my local area network. I should see here what says frames. And so now you see the frame numbers, and you see the source and the destination, and of course the protocol that's coming over. And let's just monitor this DNS. So this is a query. That means it's sending messages out to say, hey, what's going on here? That's fine. So just let this go through UDP. And yeah, you could pretty much just use this little nifty tool to monitor your network. You can get really intense and create some filters and go into export mode and all that stuff. But I just want to give you an idea briefly of how you can monitor the traffic on your network and watch what's going on. And right now, it's nothing coming up too much for DNS stuff. Let's create a little, there's ARP is just saying, hey, who are you? Let's create a little traffic. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little ping command. So I'll click on my little DOS box, and I'll just ping the router. Continuously, right? All right, so that creates a little traffic for me. Just let that run, minimize that, and now let's see if we get anything else besides DNS traffic. There's a little ICMP. There's the ping right there, and it's telling you from who to who. 106 is the actual IP address for the workstation that the DHCP server gave to the desktop. To the laptop. So there we have it. ICMP traffic. If I were to bring up a web browser, you would probably see some HTTP traffic as well. These are all the protocols, description, just good old fun stuff. So as the users are working on your network, you can see their data coming through, and you can drill down on those packets. Now let me show you how to save the information for further review, so you can analyze the traffic. So if I go ahead up here, I'm going to say stop for now. You get the general idea, so I don't really need to go into it that much further. So now, if you want to actually review this traffic, what you would do is click on File, Save, and you want to save the file. See, these are all of the captures that I have, and it automatically will put it in the capture folder. Like, see the drop down here? There's a path, right? Oops. Network monitor 3 and captures. That's what's saving all the files. So I'll just call this net traffic 1, just to show you as a test. You could also have a few options down here as how you want to save the frames block. Go save, and it'll put that file right in that little area. All right, now I don't have anything fancy in this particular query. This is just a tutorial to show you how to monitor the network. But if I were to say, I can close this out and bring up a different file that I created. Close that out, and let's bring up the other files. Let's try, let's see what routers look like. That has some real data on it. Query. Go down. Not too much, just fragment down there either. Let me just go all the way down. Anything exciting? There's some more stuff here. Let's try a different one. Let's try, let me close this out. Let me try VLAN tracker. Let's try that one. See what that looks like. That should be a little bit more exciting. Yeah, as you can see here, the protocol name, TCP, there's HTTP. Have some more little details here. But what's going on? There's a payload. Now we know payload means data, right? We have it, even that option is telling me that it's unencrypted and it's Wi-Fi. You know, there's so much stuff you can do to monitor your network to see what's going on. You always, as an administrator, you always want to be aware of what's happening, what kind of data is coming across your network. So that's a quick little tutorial. This is actually the name of my desktop, my lab desktop, and that's the actual router, TCP/IP. It's a pretty nifty tool that you could actually learn from. And most importantly, I like it because it's free. Because it's free, it's definitely for me. All right, well, thanks for watching. Give me a like if you like this video. And I hope this was, in fact, a deeper dive into what really happens inside of those fancy packets on your network. All right, stay tuned for the next series. Thanks for watching.